Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday, May 23rd, 2024 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi, and our energy mantra for today is the universe always is offering me infinite possibilities. So I focus and expand my stories in the direction I would like to travel. We have a big astro day today. We have multiple things happening today. We have a full moon in Sagittarius, which is lightening everything up, hopefully a little bit. We have Venus and Jupiter in a conjunction at the final degree of Taurus. And then later in the day, we have Venus moving into Gemini, preparing the path for Jupiter to move into Gemini on Saturday. So this is a lot. And I kept putting off recording the scope because I was like, I don't even know where to start. So we're going to try to organize this. I think we're going to start with the full moon. Full moon kind of presiding over the day. A full moon in Sagittarius is a reminder to tread lightly, to take the world lightly. I think that's an Aldous Huxley quote, like lightly, lightly. The world is heavy because kind of the way you're looking at it. And that's kind of where I landed at with the energy for today is what are the stories that you are telling about your world, about the world, about your life. The polarity of Gemini and Sagittarius is the polarity of the storytellers, and in various ways, the storytellers, the informers. Let me make connections between this and that and shed light on things. And here we have this in the full moon energy. So this is a really great time to look at your story and see, is your story that you tell, especially those subconscious stories, is it lighting up your path? Is it in the direction you want to go in? Or are these stories that you're telling the perpetual loop-de-loops that you find yourself going around and around and around in? Now, this moon is interesting because it actually begins at 2 degrees and then shifts into 3 degrees. And that 2-degree energy is connecting with Pluto at 2 degrees in Aquarius. So there is the power of empowerment in this energy. Aquarius to Sagittarius is a sextile. Aquarius to Gemini is a trine. So these are favorable connections, which means we can really use this empowerment piece. That being said, you may have to look at the stories that you find yourself telling over and over and over again. And again, these are not necessarily the stories that you put on the highlight reel of social media, right? These are more about the stories that you hear in the back of your mind. Things never work out for me. Of course that didn't happen. Those kinds of things. And recognize the universe is working in your favor, always, and align with that story and see if you can empower your stories, empower your direction. I do think that part of a full moon in Sagittarius energy is going through your baggage and leaving off what you don't want to bring with you. Now, what I love in this, besides the fact that it's connected to Pluto, I really like Pluto in this scenario because it's a reminder you can choose to change at any given point. And here is a point in time where it's like you can empower your story. You can empower your thinking. I also like that the universe has lined up Jupiter, which is the ruling sign of Sagittarius, and hey, here are 2 of the best planets, Venus and Jupiter together in Taurus. And Taurus is representative of Earth energy. And it's like, what do you want? This is more of that. What do you want energy? And recognizing the pleasures, the goodness that are all around you, and taking a little time to be grateful for these energies. So that's so powerful. I also think it's powerful because it's a reminder, we're here now on this earth for a reason, for many reasons. Part of this is the gifts the gifts and talents that you have. So I have a gift and talent for astrology, and this is my offering to the world. This is one of the ways that I try to help support the world in feeling better. So what are your gifts and talents? This is a call to bring them forth. The universe and all of the inhabitants of the universe, us earthlings, need your gifts and talents. So this is a call to like maybe consider bringing them forth with all this Gemini energy coming in. The Sabian symbol. I want to dig into the Sabian symbol for this full moon. Now, it's right at the edge of 2 degrees, but I think reading the Sabian symbol for Sagittarius at 2 degrees is important. The Sabian symbol is white-capped waves display the power of the wind over the sea. And this is very interesting to me because wind, to me in this case, represents air energy, which we have some major air energy coming in with this full moon. Or not with this full moon, sorry. Well, yeah, with this full moon, the Gemini energy brings the air. But with this, all this energy moving into Gemini, which is an air sign. And the waves represent water or emotions, the waters of the emotions. And so recognizing how much your mind, how much your thoughts, how much your stories affect the waves, your emotional tides within yourself. Now, this is not shaming, the breakdowns, the crying, any of that. All of that is necessary. All of that has its time. But it's also recognizing when it's time to okay, I'm complete with this releasing of this story. I have cried about it. I have prayed about it. I have been angry about it. And now I'm ready to release the story and lean into everything is working in my favor. I feel like this is a reminder how powerful your mind is in the scheme of things. I also love the Sabian symbol for 3 degrees Sagittarius, which is 2 people playing chess. And I do think that this is a universe where we're called to be strategic when it comes to our mind, when it comes to our thinking. Alexa, turn on main light 100%. She turns it off. There we go. Hello, I'm in the light again. So, this is a call to play chess a little bit with the universe, with your mind. Play with it. Experiment with it. See what works for you. What works for me may not be exactly what works for you, but we all have different ways of working with the universe on all of our layers, on the mental layer, on the physical level, on the spiritual layer and level, on the emotional levels. This energy is definitely focused more on mental layers, but notice for you where this is showing up for you. And again, between Pluto being a part of this full moon and this buildup in Scorpio, there may be some emotional releases that need to happen in tandem with this energy. So just keep that in mind. We talked a little bit about Venus and Jupiter. This is just a beautiful connection and in Taurus. And I invite you today to find something where you recognize the pleasure of the moment, whether it's eating your breakfast, connecting with somebody that you love, listening to music, driving and seeing the sights. Connect to your senses, connect to the gratitude of being. That is just going to light everything up. Find that moment. And even if it's just that one moment in the day, wonderful. Yes, I'm grateful to be living because this moment right here. Now, that full moon is going to be happening at 6:50 a.m. Venus and Jupiter are going to be conjunct at 1:29 a.m. This is both Pacific time. So these are happening earlier in the day. Venus will move out of Taurus and into Gemini at 1:30 p.m. Now, anytime Venus changes signs, we get a little bit of that zero energy. And that zero energy may feel a little graceless. What I do like is even if you find yourself feeling graceless, we do have one more strong connection of the day, and that is Jupiter and Neptune. And Jupiter and Neptune are like, are you going to daydream? What are you going to daydream about? What do you really want? If you were living like in your ideal life, what would it be? Where would the unicorns and the flowers and all that be? Like, this is a call to fantasy for sure. I saw something the other day and I wish I had saved it. I saw something while scrolling and it was like pink clouds and a pink sparkly castle, and there was like a unicorn, and it just looked really magical. And they were like, just know if I was in charge of life, this is what it would look like. And that's what I'm imagining when it comes to this Jupiter-Neptune sextile connection. It's very lazy cat. It's a call to daydream. Take some time. There is magic in your daydream. There is magic in your envisioning. And Venus into Gemini wants to support that, wants to make it so. So Venus in Gemini is definitely an interesting placement. Venus in Gemini is not necessarily the most committed connection. Venus in Gemini wants to make connections. Venus in Gemini wants to flirt. Venus in Gemini wants to experience the variety of the world. So we may find this in, wanting to pick up a new instrument, so to speak, right? You want to play something new, whether it's a person or an instrument or trying a new food. Venus in Gemini is just like, yeah, I'm open. Let me explore a little bit. So love that for Venus in Gemini. Just know this isn't going to be the most committed month. There's a saying, thank you, phone. There's a saying, that Gemini is like the jack of all trades, master of none. And while I don't actually believe that for Gemini fully, I do believe that Gemini has its jack of all trades moments. And I think we're meant to get curious and explore. So with Venus in Gemini, revel in the curiosity, revel in the exploration, see what the world has to offer. I actually pulled cards for some of the main events today, just separate ones, and this was the card for Venus and Gemini. It's we are the world, meaning it's a big, wide world out there. There is so much to explore and discover, and that will excite the Venus energy, and it might excite new connections to your gifts and talents that you may never have even realized. I think that's good. That's as good as it's going to get. Here are the cards specific to the full moon. So we have Nothingness, which is the card of infinite possibility. And we have the transformation card with it. And I love these together because, like I've mentioned before, I think every moment has the opportunity to be like a new year. And I think that there's something in this full moon with these shifts that are happening that allow us to take a different path. Instead of a path of dissatisfaction, to find a path of fulfillment, to find a path of the beauty. But it's up to you to empower your experience, to empower your focus, to empower your noticing. This Venus-Jupiter conjunction, I actually have the suppression card in reverse. So it's like releasing some long-held stuff. For a new lease on life. I've got a new attitude. That just is what popped into my head. I also pulled regular cards. So let's go through these really fast. So this is like the overview now. Top of the cards, abracadabra. As I speak, so it unfolds. That's basically the meaning of abracadabra. This is, in this deck, the existence card, but this is the magician. And so it's magic. Never believe it's not so. Mimi Jukebox is jukeboxing. So tuning into the magic of this day. Does it mean that it's going to be perfect? Nope. Definitely not. But recognize whatever is unfolding for you and can lead you down roads of possibilities. I love that I have the possibilities card. I also have the abundance card. And this is a reminder, like, enjoy the physical and enjoy the spiritual. There's levels of both of those energies supporting you in and through this, bringing you into balance, and hopefully helping you recognize the abundance in your life and the possibilities for even more abundance. Besides the mind, we here have the letting go. So there may be some thoughts, there may be some stories that you start tooling with, working with to help shift in this energy. It is a powerful day. Like Abraham says, if you're falling out of an airplane, don't worry about it. Feel what you need to feel and recognize there's always the opportunity to tune into this wisdom, to surrender and know that the universe wants good things for you. And you just need to work on your part of the co-creation, right? And accept that the contrast, those crappy days, also happen for a reason. And they're okay. It's okay. It's all okay. So I'm going to leave that here for today. Long enough, right? You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power. And remember who you are, for you are the solution. Namaste.